On August 28, Israel launched a massive raid on the West Bank cities of Jenin, Nablus, Tubas, and Tulkarem. The attack killed a large number of Palestinians, and Al Jazeera reported that it was the largest Israeli incursion into the West Bank since 2002. In coordinated raids on 4 cities in the northern West Bank, Israeli occupation forces used hundreds of fighters on the ground, as well as fighter jets, drones and bulldozers. Israel's foreign minister, Israel Katz, said it was a planned attack, and that Israeli forces were engaged in the operation with full force. He called on ordinary people to evacuate the West Bank as soon as possible, just as they had evacuated Gaza at all costs. This operation, he explained, is a war about everything, and we must win it. After the incident, the Israeli Communist Party and Hadash issued a joint communiqué saying that the occupiers' attacks on the West Bank are a continuation of the campaign of destruction in Gaza. They called on the Israeli occupying forces to halt military operations in the West Bank. According to Hadash MP Ofer Kassif, attacks by the occupying forces on the West Bank have nothing to do with Israel's national security. This is simply an all-out war waged by the Israeli government against the entire Palestinian people in order to annex their land and expel them from their homeland. Israel should immediately stop the war and end the occupation. Aida Musliman, a member of parliament for Hadash, said the act had Gaza-satified all Palestinian land and was part of a plan to ethnically cleanse the West Bank. What is happening now in the northern West Bank is aggravating all Palestinian land. A large number of Israeli troops are attacking and are about to invade a central hospital in Jenin. Early this morning, Israel's foreign minister tweeted that the Palestinians need to be expelled from the West Bank. There are now reports that such evacuation orders have been issued to Palestinian refugee camp communities in the area, and that a full-scale Israeli destruction and cut-off of water supplies is already underway. Israeli media, meanwhile, barely reported on the offensive. This is not anti-terrorism, but a perfect plan by Minister Bezalel Smotrich to carry out ethnic cleansing in the West Bank. The international community must intervene immediately. In the West Bank, where night raids have become commonplace, Israeli forces have killed 646 people, including 148 children, in the past 11 months, according to Palestinian health officials. In condemning Israeli aggression in the West Bank, the UN Human Rights Office said, "The situation could deteriorate dramatically if Israeli occupying forces continue to systematically use unlawful lethal force in defiance of acts of violence committed by Israeli settlers." The agency warned against extrajudicial killings and unlawful killings of Palestinians and the destruction of their homes and infrastructure, and said the violence by Israeli settlers was the result of political support from the Israeli leadership. The UN Human Rights Office has for years been reporting on Israeli settlers attacking Palestinian communities on West Bank land with impunity. This long-standing Israeli behavior has escalated dramatically since October 7th of last year, as Israeli settlers, with political support from high levels of the Israeli government, have seized the opportunity to escalate attacks against Palestinians, to force them off their land, and to expand settlements and strengthen Israel's grip on the West Bank. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called on Israel to comply with its obligations under international humanitarian law and take measures to protect civilians and ensure their safety. He urged Israeli security forces to exercise maximum restraint and use lethal force only when it is unavoidable. These dangerous developments are exacerbating the already explosive situation in the occupied West Bank and further weakening the Palestinian Authority, he said. Ultimately, only an end to the occupation and a return to a meaningful political process that establishes a two-state solution will bring